Hello everybody, happy Tuesday. We're continuing on with Alchemortis development. For context, I have a goal to create 3 new items for Alchemortis a day for 10 days. So that means after 10 days I'll have 30 new items. We are currently on track. This is day number 3, so I have to make 3 new items today. But I already have 7. So I'm actually beating my goal by 1 item, which is great. But at least 3 per day. I got a little bit sidetracked yesterday. I was working on this in the evening, and I had this bug with one of the new cards, which was partly due to me being tired and partly due to my system not supporting what I was trying to do. So I actually ended up working on that one for several hours, but those kinds of things will happen as I'm adding new items to the game. I try to create an ability that's just a little bit different than anything else that's being done in the game, and it breaks. And then I need to figure out why my code doesn't support that use case. Anyway, I'll show you all those new cards, or those new items in a second. But first, Alchemortis is available for wishlisting, so if you're interested, it's a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler where you can use alchemy to create your own builds and synergies. So if you're interested in that, definitely give it a wishlist. The Steam page is linked below. You can also support the development of the game on Patreon. I am entirely self-funded, so every little bit of support helps here. If you subscribe at the top tier for at least 1 month on Patreon, I'm going to send you a Steam key for the full game when it launches, and your name will also be listed in the in-game Alchemortis credits. So if that sounds appealing to you, definitely consider that. But another way to support me is by purchasing my courses. These will teach you how to build complete games in the Godot engine. I've got several courses. They all cover different topics. So check those out if you're interested. And yeah, that's basically it. All right. Hello, Jahar. Welcome. Malicious Rabbit, good morning to you. Woobius, hello. Welcome. So we'll get into creating some new items, but let me show you some of the new ones. So I think, did I show you the Inquisitor? What did I do yesterday? Mushroom Person, Witch Hunter, and Spectacles. We did Spectacles on the stream yesterday. So the 2 new ones are the Pylean, which is a mushroom person. So Pylean, the word for I think it's the scientific phrase or the scientific word for the cap of a mushroom is pileus. So they're called Pyleans. And this one is kind of interesting. It has an innate ability, so we're starting to introduce more innate abilities into the game. Innate, deal 12 true damage if there's at least 1 allied fungus item, so that's a new thing too. So we're introducing new secondary tags, which I still have to figure out exactly how those are going to work, but we've got new secondary tags now, and I'll show you how that works. And then this also has Swarm applied to poison, so we've got another Swarm ability in there. And then here's the Witch Hunter. Somebody's making noise in the other room. One of the cats. We have the Witch Hunter. Apply 8 fire, and then there's a 50% chance to execute this ability again. And then deal 2 damage per paralysis applied by opponent. So yeah, Witch Hunter. I might change him a little bit, but trying to make him more interesting. I was actually considering maybe the Witch Hunter could be a boss, but we'll see. But I like the way the art turned out. And yeah, so that's all in the game there. So one thing that's on my plate before we go and make some new items is I need to figure out how to show that secondary tag in the tooltip. I have an idea for it, but it's just one of those things where I need to actually implement it. But yeah, the way the secondary tag works, it's basically the same as a normal tag. What am I doing? Here. So it's basically the same as the normal tag. I've got my normal tags here, minion, relic, alchemical, so on and so forth. And then I've got secondary tags, and these could be like hyper-specific subcategories. So all that exists right now is fungus. But I could go and tag various cards with that fungus now, and now I can have abilities that scale based off of fungus, right? An obvious application of this is, you know, having skeletons. So you could do like a skeleton build if you wanted to, or an undead build, so on and so forth. But these tags are currently not surfaced anywhere to the player, so we got to figure that out. And I think I'm just going to use the same sort of display. So if I go to my card inspector here, so we've got this tag label placeholder. Honestly, I think what I'm going to do is just let me take a look at this. Let's see. How is this? Okay, so the self-modulate is what's being changed. So what I may do for secondary tags, I might just change these colors. So this color might become orange instead. This label color will become orange instead, and then I'll hide that. And so there will just be a tag that says like fungus or something. So to be visually distinct from like the overall tags, could also potentially break it out onto the second line automatically. But one problem is, how am I going to display that in the card tooltip here? Because these are just icon views. Tag icon placeholder. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Hello, High Law. I'll refund my wish list if there are any other secondary tags aside from fungus supremacy. Oh no. All right, I will release a build of the game just for you, High Law, that only has fungus. Just for you. Okay, anyway. All right, so let's just do this then. Let's do public void set secondary tag, secondary card tag, and this is just like a flag enum as well. So I think I have what, up to, is it 64 or 63? I don't know how that works, but I've got over 60 potential options here. So that should be plenty. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere close to that. Because these are flags, right? So these are all like 1 bit is set in the, well, each bit represents a different tag. And so if I wanted to multiple tag something, I would set multiple bits. But you know, there's only so many bits in an integer. Anyway, so all I'm saying is I think 63 or 64, or however much it is, will be enough. Otherwise, I may have to move to a more string-based tagging system or something, or yeah, something like that. The nice thing about using the bit flags is that you could just set multiple tags on a single value, which is really nice because then I don't need to like maintain lists of values and like all that stuff. Anyway, tag icon.visible is equal to false. Label.text. Oh, I have to translate these tags as well. All right. Yeah. Fudge. Let me write that down. I have a lot of translation work to do still. Okay. I didn't think this game had that much text, but then it did. And that is unfortunate. Font color. Okay, font color. Label.add theme color override. Font color. Game constants dot color orange. Okay. Okay. So we've got set tag and set secondary tag. So let's go in here. Card inspector, here we go. All right. Secondary tags is equal to base card dot get secondary tags. I can't do that. Why not? If secondary tags is not equal to secondary tag dot none, for each tag in enum get value secondary card tag, continue on none, tag label placeholder create instance as tag label, set secondary tag, perfect. All right, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what that does. Hello, Reggie JSS. Welcome, welcome. I hope I probably butchered that name, but welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm going to attempt to plan ahead for translation, just put all my text in one script so I could duplicate that script with other languages. Yeah, I highly recommend. I mean, I don't have much experience with translations, but the PO files, which are get text files, are pretty good. They support plurals and everything. I think they're a little bit more readable than CSVs as well. And since the format is very simple, it's very easy to generate those PO files from other code that you write. But yeah, definitely. Well, see, here's the thing. You know, everyone recommends like, oh, plan ahead with a save system and plan ahead with translation. You're going to regret it if you have to go back and add it. But honestly, like, I don't know, maybe it depends on experience, but like I added the save system to the game after like all the major features were like 80% built, right? And I didn't give any thought to adding a save system whatsoever. And it was fine for the most part. Like I had to change some stuff, but it was fine, you know? And translation is the same thing. It's like, yeah, it was a pain in the rear to have to go and update multiple places to support translation, but it wasn't really that big of an issue. And so the question is like, if I had done save system and translation for the path from the start, would that have actually slowed down my development time compared to adding it later, right? Because then if I'm like, if my game systems are undergoing radical changes, now I have to, every time I make a radical change to the game, I have to potentially update all the translations, and then I have to update all the save model and stuff, and then test and make sure that all works still. Whereas what I did is I waited till the game was a little bit more stable. It's like the rate of change is slowing down. And then I added those systems, and yeah, it was a larger upfront effort, but now it's like, you know, I'm not really going to be making any radical changes, I don't think, anymore. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing. It's like, you know, are you really saving time in the long run by implementing it from the start, or is it better actually in some cases to leave it for towards the end, you know? I do not know. Anyway, so this guy is a fungus. Oh, I didn't change the self-modulate color of this. Hello, Kelso. Welcome. Good to see you. That's fair. I think I'm just going to try and structure my code base in a way that'll make it easy to implement those later down the line. Yeah. I mean, it's up to you however you want to do it. I'm not saying you should do it one way or another, but you know, it's just like I had always heard this advice of like start save systems early and start your translations early, and I didn't do either of those things, and it wasn't that big of a deal, you know. Okay. Go away, cat. I'm working. Do you want me to be able to feed you or not? If you don't let me work, I won't be able to buy you food. Mm-hmm. What do you want? Okay. 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 Yeah, we're done now. Yeah, goodbye. Like in other projects, I'll just put the text directly into rich text label properties in the editor. So this time around, I'm trying to have that pull from a script instead. Oh, gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Rich text label is an interesting one. Work can be done later, sir. Hello, Crappy Crafter. What a cat lover. Anyway, so the fungus is appearing here. Now we need to get it to appear here, which is going to be actually kind of difficult because unless I want to draw an icon for everything. Do I want to draw an icon for the legendary, or not the legendary, but the special? The special tags. Also, is that the color that I want to use? I don't have so many colors that I can choose from because like when it comes to the text on the screen, I can't use like half of the colors in my palette because they're too dark. So I've got a grand total of like 4 colors to choose from for text. Is that true? Maybe 5 colors? But anyway. I think orange is fine, honestly. I think orange makes sense. Because it is a special thing. Like, I'm kind of using orange for things that are kind of special. So, like, whenever an ability is innate, it uses orange. If there's going to be a secondary tag, which is going to be a not super common thing, then we'll use orange. Hello, Emerson. Welcome. Do I need to... Oh, do I actually need to create... Let's just put a label in here. Yeah, see that label is gonna do that. I mean, I could I don't have to do that. I could just, well, shoot. The only way to make this consistent is to do icons for the secondary tags as well. Do I want to do that? Shoot. I don't really want to do that, but maybe I should. Resources, texture, card tag, minion. Wait, what? Resources. Oh. This is an atlas. Tag icons, okay. So let's open up tag icons then. Open file, assets, UI, card, tag icons. Okay. Well, I mean, let's just do it, I guess. Let's just do it, I guess. Okay. That'll work. Now I got to figure out how to get this. I got to get this to actually function. So this is going to be a little bit unfortunate. This tag panel. I almost need like an alternate tag panel here. Yeah, so let's do shoot. HBox container. Tag panel, duplicate that. HBox container. Theme overrides, let's reduce that separation. Call this secondary tag panel. Tag container. So the secondary tag panel, we will do self-modulate to orange. And then this tag icon placeholder, this will be secondary tag icon placeholder. Now, how is this actually working? Public void set secondary tag. Oh, interesting. Tag icon directory. Public static texture 2D. Okay, we'll just do this. That's not much of a simplification, but all right, whatever. So load tag icon. Cool. And then what? That just loads it directly from that directory. Res resources texture. Oh. I wonder why I'm doing that. These are Atlas textures. I mean, I guess that's okay. I'll just do, I mean, there's no reason to change it. Card tag fungus. Here we go. Make unique. Edit region. We're going to do grid snap. 9 by 9. Put that there. Okay, so there's our tag icon, card tag fungus. And we'll just go ahead and just for the sake of being able to see it properly, we can do that. Let's access that as a unique name. Okay, we also need to have a reference to the secondary tag panel. Actually, right, this is okay. Let's get a reference to that secondary tag panel. Node private panel container, secondary tag panel, and then node private instance placeholder, secondary tag icon placeholder. Which font is this? Looks great. So there's a fun story behind the font. The font is called Soft Square, and I got this from some kind of game development bundle off of Humble Bundle or something. It was by an author called Chevy Ray. You can find that author's work on itch.io. But that Soft Square font was no longer available. I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. It wasn't available from Chevy Ray's itch.io. So I have like this old deprecated font that originally didn't have like accented characters for the non-English Latin languages, like the, you know, the umlauts and all that good stuff. And so if you were in the Discord, which you can join below, there was a couple of days ago, last week, I guess, where I was scrambling to find a replacement font because I need translation support, and like the soft square font was not working for that. So in my desperation, I actually emailed the author and I said, hey, I'm using this old font of yours. I really love it. All of my players love it, but it doesn't have the accented characters. So I offered to pay this person to extend the font with all of the extra characters. And after about a day and a half, I got an email back, and Chevy Ray said, here, attached is that soft square font with the extended character set. And also, I've made a variation of the font called Super Soft, which, you know, has some slight glyph differences in it. But I didn't end up using the super soft version. I just used the extended soft square version. So as far as I'm aware, I'm the only person besides the author in the world who has that version of the font, the version of soft square that has the extended character set. So yeah. Anyway, you can find the super soft variant on Chevy Ray's itch.io page if you're interested in using that font, but that is not the same exact font as the one that I'm using, which is, like I said, the original variation with the extended character set. In any case, great person, very responsive. I can't believe that they helped me out with that, and they didn't even ask for payment. Like, I offered to pay them, and they just gave me the file. So, I mean, I did end up donating to their itch.io just as a little bit of compensation because I was, you know, I appreciated the work that they did. But yeah, kind of an interesting story. So yeah, very much appreciate. Go check out Chevy. Chevy Ray has all these great fonts. Like, I even bought several of them when I was trying to find replacements. They're all good. They just didn't quite fit with the game. But yeah, check out Chevy Ray on itch.io. There's a bunch of good fonts. Definitely recommend purchasing if you find something you like. Hello, Kelso. Could you remove a few random pixels from the mushroom to see how it looks like? I don't think that's going to look good. Because these are just solid colors. And so if I add like black spots, it's just going to look like the mushroom is disintegrating. It's not going to look like there are spots on the mushroom. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess that kind of looks okay to some extent. I mean, okay, we'll take a poll. Do you guys like this version of the icon better, or do you like this version of the icon better? This version or this version? So we'll say with holes, without holes. So this is without holes. This one is with holes. I know they're not holes. They're supposed to be like bumps, but if you like the with holes version, which is this one, put holes in the chat. Otherwise, you could put no holes or without holes or whatever. Hello, Eto. Welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Clickertail. Good to see you again. That's awesome. Yeah, it is awesome. Yeah, I was very, very happy. You can't, like, that made my day, honestly. That made my day. Good morning, OK Water, OK. Holes. Without holes for me. With holes looks like a skull of some animal. All right, we're tied up. We are tied. Anyway, I'll continue with the code here while you guys are voting on that stuff. Secondary. So we've got... secondary tags is equal to card.getSecondary tags. secondary tag panel dot visible is equal to secondary tags is not equal to secondary tag none. I don't need to. Let's do this. Secondary tag panel dot visible. Okay, I think that's fine. No holes. Instead of black, maybe a lighter, different color. No, I'm not. The tag icons are flat colors, so black and a solid color are the only options. I think I like it without the holes too. I mean, I could update the tags. It's just like, I think for UI elements, generally speaking, like these, the things that are going to appear as tags, I think I want them to be flat. But, you know, maybe it might be worth trying out some shading. I mean, it should be relatively easy to test too. Like I could just do this. Do this. I'm going to try out shading these just for you guys. Okay, let's just see what that looks like. Without is better. Yeah. Maybe with an accent color. It would violate the single color scheme. Let's just see what it looks like. The scythe looks like someone playing a big clarinet. That's quite an imagination. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I like the shaded icons, honestly. Because like the border is flat, the text is flat, and then you've got like this shaded icon. It doesn't look that good, honestly. I mean, I think the icons, like the shading is like good generally on the icons, but that would have to be done in a different context. So yeah, we'll go back to flat icons. Anyway, let's see if this works. Hello, Snupbill. Thank you for the IDR 10,000. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. With the message yummers. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh. We have a growing list of mushroom tags. or fungus. Okay. We have to figure that out. Secondary tag container. Secondary tag container. Okay. Let's try that again. Focus maxing. Hello, Lee Berthen. Welcome. Good to see you. He's still at his growing phase. It looks good for that instance. It's better as a solid color. I feel, yeah, I agree. I agree, Bad Bask. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so now we've got this secondary tag there, which is good. And then we'll just have to put that in that tag label there. So this tag icon, so instead of setting this to visible, we're going to do tag icon.set secondary tag to tag. Keep the color overrides together. All right, let's see what that does. I mean, it's not going to be too bad to add secondary icons for all the secondary ones. Cool. So if I add item morel and add, I think if I add the giant fungus, add item giant mushroom. So we've got the fungus there, fungus there, fungus there. Awesome. So now we could potentially put the tag. Yeah, we want to put the tag in the description now. It's always something. So we need the tag icon. So this is a icon UID. It's fine, I'll just follow the pattern that I have. Just follow the pattern that I have. Okay. All right, there we go. So if the icon is appearing everywhere where fungus is shown, so we got fungus there, and then in the card tooltip as well. Okay. That was not too terrible. Add secondary tag to card tooltip with icon. All right, so that's done. All right, now we go back to figuring out what kind of items we are going to add to the game, and let's focus on some enemy cards. Let's see. So we already have a friar. I think I might make like a clergy tag, a secondary clergy tag as well. Make some things scale off of that. We could also do like an undertaker here. Undertaker. A bear, hurdy-gurdy, buckler. Let's see. Bellows is a good one. How many 1x1 cards does the enemy have? Let's see. 14 1x1 cards. Let's see. We've got 64 enemy cards, 101 player cards. So let's see. Enemy. Not a whole lot of alchemical enemy cards, not a whole lot of relic enemy cards. So maybe some kind of relic would be appropriate. So the nice thing about this is that, you know, so I have like an idea for a horseshoe, right? Where is that? Is that in here? So let's move this one to in progress. So the enemy faction needs more relic items, right? So the nice thing about this is that what I can do is I can basically just take a normal item like a horseshoe and just give it some kind of name and then mark it as a relic, right? So it's instead of a horseshoe, it's like horseshoe of, you know, whatever. Like you know, I don't know. We'll come up with something, but it could be like the horseshoe of a horse owned by a famous general, right? So some kind of like artifact or relic with like a historical significance, right? So yeah, I think that will work. 1x1 cards are easy to do as well, so we'll do card creation tool 1x1. Horse. Is horseshoe one word? I think it is, right? Yeah. Horse says ho. Hello, Julio. Welcome. Good morning to you as well. Good morning to you as well. Assets, card, horses, ho. Okay. Load default palette. I might just have to do this. Wow, that looks like a pretty good horseshoe already. Maybe not. That'll probably work. I'm just gonna pull up a horseshoe reference real quick. Right, so there's like... Something like that probably works. I think that's fine. I don't have any complaints about that. All right, export that. And we have a horseshoe. So let's go and update all of the, we need to update all the metadata here. So we'll give the horse a name. We'll give the horse, like, it'll be like horses horseshoe, and the horse will be like, we'll have a special name, and then we can indicate in the flavor text that the horse was something special. But anyway, this will be a relic item. I don't think it necessarily needs to be anything else. We'll just make it a relic. It's 1 by 1. We'll do 3.9. So we'll do a very low turn cooldown. It's an enemy. It is flippable. Minimum notoriety region, maximum notoriety region. We'll exclude it from the last region. It doesn't need any secondary tags. Okay, so now we need an idea for what this thing's abilities can be. I'll just commit this as like initial work. All right, so what are we gonna do for the ability here? Tried a bit Unity, and I know the basics of C# but want to swap to Godot since it fits more for me. Would you suggest learning GDScript, or should I stay with C#? It's up to you. I mean, it's personal preference. If you don't have much experience with C#, or your only experience with C# is with Unity, it may be easier just to do GDScript because a lot of the tutorials are in GDScript, and that's just well integrated into the engine. Doesn't require any extra setup. But if you already have experience with C# and you're pretty comfortable with it, then you can use C# pretty easily, you know, no problem. Yeah, you just need to be aware that you can't do web exports with C# at the moment. So if you ever want to make an HTML5 build of your game, you basically have to use GDScript. But yeah, that's it's up to you. It's up to you, really. What is your deal, cat? Why are you being annoying today? Don't you have somewhere to sleep? Don't you have somewhere to sleep? Yep. Don't you have somewhere to be? Goodness gracious. You're welcome. You are welcome. All right. What should this ability have? So we could do something like damage per armor. We don't have a whole lot of speed abilities. Let's see. So the enemy has 3 things that do speed, so maybe not. Maybe damage based on armor, on current armor is a good idea. GDScript is basically as easy as English, no real learning needed. Yeah, I mean, I think, it's not that the syntax is hard. It's, if you're not familiar with programming, knowing how to write code, it's going to be the hard part, or learning how to write code. Okay, let's do... We need a generic value provider. Return status provider dot get. I keep forgetting how to do this. If shield status is equal to null, or return 0, return shield status dot stacks. Const int shield stacks per damage is equal to 3. We're going to do divided by shield stacks per damage. That's fine. Const int base damage is equal to 1. Current damage is equal to base damage. Okay, now we need a value scaler. Scale the generic value provider. Set the multiplier to current damage. Then we need the dynamic damage. Okay. So then we need to put the status provider here. This is not an ability, right? Oh, it is. Do I need I don't need the generic value provider to be there, do I? Let's see. No, I don't. I wonder why that's an ability. Is there ever a situation where I'm adding this to the abilities list? Value scaler. That's not an ability. Yeah, this generic value provider, this actually doesn't need to be a base card ability, I don't think. I don't know why I made it that way. But yeah, we don't need that to be an ability. Okay. That doesn't make any sense. So generic value provider, we're going to put the dynamic damage there. Okay, and then the tier function var scalar is equal to ability scalars, get damage scalar, current damage is equal to scalar base damage tier, value scalar set multiplier current damage. This is damage per shield. Okay, is this correct? So we got the status provider, generic value provider, value scalar, dynamic magnitude. And now we need the description template, card horseshoe damage per shield. Okay, so this is going to be deal 0 damage per I think that's right. So we pass in that description template, parameter func, current damage shield stacks per damage. I think that's right. Okay, let's build that. Build. What's your typing speed in words per second? Words per second? And what do you think is a good typing speed for efficient coding? I don't know what my typing speed is, honestly. That's not something I've ever really focused on. Because I think, you know, so what is a good typing speed for efficient coding? I think a lot of coding is it's not necessarily about how fast you can actually write out the words. Because, like, you know, even if you can write out a section of code pretty fast, like, you're still going to be broken up by intermittent chunks of, like, thinking. So it's not like you're just going to be straight writing, you know, at 150 words per minute or whatever, just nonstop, right? So I'm not sure if, like, typing speed makes that much of a difference. Obviously, if you can type, like, the rote stuff faster, that's going to be good. But I think efficient coding is a lot more about careful thought and planning, and not necessarily about just, like, raw words per minute output. So, I mean, that's a long way of saying, like, I don't really pay attention to that. And I don't think it's probably not super important to pay attention. I mean, if you're like, you know, if you type at like a snail's pace, then maybe practicing typing to get up to a more reasonable number is a good idea. But like when people ask how to become a better programmer, like the top advice is never learn how to type as fast as possible. You know what I mean? Is there a case to be made about iterating faster? No, I don't think so. Because again, iteration speed is not about like your raw ability to put characters in the file. Iteration speed is largely a function of like, you know, how are your systems laid out? Are they easy to extend? Are they easy to modify? Can you touch a piece of code and change it pretty radically without introducing all kinds of like side effects and bugs throughout the code base, right? It's like iteration speed is much more about the structure and quality of your code rather than just raw putting characters in the file. And especially with these AI tools, like the AI assisted autocomplete and stuff, like that's gonna functionally increase your words per minute anyway if you use something like Copilot autocomplete. So it's like, I just don't think it's that important of a metric, honestly. Like obviously it plays some role in how fast you get something done, but I think if you were to like actually measure, like let's say you sit down for like a coding session for an hour, if you actually measured how much time you saved by typing 20 words per minute faster over an hour-long session, it's probably not going to be that much because, again, most of the work is going to be thinking and planning and reading the code and checking to make sure it's right and testing it. So yeah, I'm skeptical that it plays that big of a role in how efficient you are. I'm just trying to look at this one because I put the generic value provider as an ability in this ability list, but I actually don't think that's necessary as long as yeah, I don't think that's necessary. The only reason is to improve your WPM is that you're playing competitive programming contests, otherwise it's not really an important metric. Yeah, I mean, anything that's like a specific like gimmicky competition, yeah, you're gonna want probably any advantage you can get, but day-to-day programming, it's like, I really don't think it makes that big of a difference. Okay, so let's build this. Typing speed is as much a measurement of code quality as lines written, none at all. Yeah, and I don't think the question was about code quality, it was about efficiency. But again, I think you can make a similar statement. I think it's like, typing speed is not a measurement of efficiency in the same way that lines of code is not a measurement of efficiency, right? Like you're not writing more efficient code if you're using less lines, because efficiency is understood as multiple things, right? Like what is efficient code? Is efficient code the code that runs the fastest on the CPU? Is efficient code the code that is easiest for yourself and other developers to modify and build upon? Is efficient code code that's easy to read, even if it's more verbose, right? So for me, like the way that I think about efficiency is like when I'm efficiently writing code, it's not that I'm writing it as quick as possible with the fewest lines possible. Efficient code for me personally is code that I can come back to in 3 months and I can just read the file and get like 90% of the understanding of what that file does after having completely forgot it, right? Efficiency is being able to go in and see, oh, this module here is very well isolated, so I don't need to worry about like if I change the internals of how this works. I don't need to worry about that like creating all kinds of side effects throughout the code base, right? That's what efficiency is to me. Efficiency is like, just making sure that when I go to work on something that the minimum necessary amount of work is required to make that feature work. And a lot of that is up to the design of your code. Have you been properly modulating things, or modularizing things, I should say? Is your code readable? Those kinds of things. Anyway, so I built that. Let's do the translation generator. Coding is not typing, it's solving problems using your brain. The more you code, the more you solve problems, the better you'll get. It's about the experience. Yeah, right. I largely agree with that. How long have you been using Godot for? Since it came out. I used Godot for the day it came out, and not every single day, but the vast majority of days in the year I have opened Godot for since it came out. But I've been using Godot a lot longer than that. I started using Godot in 2017, back in the 3.0 alpha days. So, you could say I'm somewhat of an expert, no big deal. Cat, can you stop, please? I'm trying to type and you're just climbing all over me. What is your deal? Do you want attention? That's impressive. I mean, thank you, but I don't think it's that impressive. I mean, it's just first of all, I like doing game development, and I also just love the Godot engine. So it's not like some kind of feat. It's just like, it's just what I enjoy doing. You know what I mean? Wait a minute. So I could do this. Apply 3 armor per adjacent item that deals damage, and then this deals 1 damage per 3 armor. So this will apply armor, and then this will deal 1 damage if that armor remains, I guess. Let's see. So this is going to do 0 damage to start, and then I'm going to get 3 stacks of armor, and then I'm going to hit them for 1. Boom. Nice. So we do need to come up with a better name and flavor text for that stuff, but we will call that good for this stream's purposes. I'm not done with this stream. I'm just saying, like, this item is as finished as it can be for this stream. Ah, son of a biscuit. We'll put item. Okay, so that's still in progress, but April 28 count. So for context, for anyone who has just joined the stream, I'm in the middle of a little self goal, which is to add 3 new items to the game every day for 10 days. So I'm tracking this in this card here. So I started on the 26th, 2 days ago. I did 4 that day. I did 3 yesterday, and we could count this as like 1. So 1 so far today. I don't increment this count though until I move this over to the done column. So Anyway, I think that's good. So we've got the translation file. We've got that fixed there. Okay. Hello, Omad. Were there any changes with Godot since then that you didn't like? No, I don't think so. I think Godot has generally been moving in a positive direction. There was one change, which they have since fixed, but it's a really minor thing, but they introduced this like locking of scale. So there's like this little chain icon. And what that means is that the ratio of the scale will be preserved. So if I change this to 1.5, it would also become 1.5 in the Y. And that is okay. The problem was that when that feature was first implemented, the animation players did not remember that setting. So every time that I went to go and animate the scale of something, I would have to uncheck this button every single time. So that to, like, if I just wanted to change the Y scale, not the X scale, I have to uncheck this little button every single time. And that was really annoying. I think there have been like some UI things that they have done that haven't made a whole lot of sense to me. Like, for example, I don't like how the shader text editor pops up. First of all, why does it pop up down here? Why is the shader editor down here and not like integrated into the script view? That's weird to me. Also, this pops up every single time I select something that has a shader on it, which is supremely annoying because like I just want to select the node and then boom, half my screen gets taken up by this and I have to close that. So I think there's just like a lot of UI UX things that make no sense in Godot, which is understandable. I mean, that's like par for the course for open source projects, right? Because it's a bunch of, especially when the projects are smaller, it's just a bunch of computer tech nerds who have no artistic or design skills whatsoever. And so they just end up creating this application, which is really powerful, but just has like the messiest UX of all time and doesn't make any sense whatsoever from a layout perspective. That is being fixed though. My understanding is that since Godot has gotten bigger, a lot of people who are like trained in UX and UI design are contributing to the engine now, which is great. But you know, I think that's just how open source software goes. It's like it's made by a bunch of scrappy technical dudes with no art bones in their body, and you know, that just gets ironed out over time. Cat inspection. The cat is just inspecting your code. Yeah, like the look of your game. Thank you, Coolio. Appreciate that. Can you not drag it over to where you want? I think you can. Oh no, that's not implemented yet. So they're kind of like in the process of making these docks fully configurable. Like they've been making them more and more flexible as the versions have increased. But as far as I'm aware, it's not possible to move this shader editor dock anywhere else except for this bottom dock here. But you can reorder these things now. I think that's a relatively new feature. But yeah, anyway. There's just some questionable UX decision, that's all. The shader editor opening up really bugs me too, yeah. It's okay. I mean, I'm confident that these things will be ironed out. Like, I don't think, let's put it this way. Godot is consistently moving in a good direction, right? It's not going downhill, it's going uphill. And so things are gradually getting better over time. And that's the thing that's the most important, right? Like, that's what gives me confidence to use the engine. It's like, I know that over time it's just going to get better and better and better. So my time invested into building games in Godot right now is actually going to be extra valuable going into the future as the engine gets better, right? Did you hear the Godot 4.7 beta is out? I did. There's a lot of good stuff in 4.7, but I don't want to update to beta. I might do one of the release candidate versions, or I may just wait until the full release version is out. Okay, anyway, we need to think of another card. So put your ideas for enemy items in the chat, enemy faction items, and I'll read those when I get back and we can decide which one to work on. But I'll be right back in just 3 minutes and we'll continue on. All right, I'm back. Hello, Ninja Link. Good to see you as always. Welcome. Good morning. How are you doing? All right, so we need another item. Let's see, what can we do here? Some of these are pretty in depth, but let's take a look at the card statistics tool. Well, project management tool. Hello, Porter Bytes. That is Obsidian with the Kanban plugin. Undertaker, maybe we could do Undertaker. Stayed up too late playing Windrose. Windrose? I've never heard of that. Is that a Zelda game? Oh, it's a survival adventure set in an alternative age of piracy. Is that a new game? Oh, wow. Very positive reviews. Dang. Uh-oh. This actually looks really good. I'm gonna add that to my wish list. Oh, you could do naval combat. Oh my gosh, this game looks amazing. Okay, anyway. Oops. Thank you, Ninja Link, for introducing a new time waster into my life. What are you using for documentation? Is that Trello? Obsidian. Yeah, you're welcome. New pirate game. Falling Star. Triarchy is a better version of Windrose. I haven't heard of that one either. Actually looks good, but I haven't picked it up yet. It's got very positive reviews. 15,000 reviews in just like 2 weeks. It's early access and I'm in the hot S right now. Sailing the seas, singing shanties. Welcome. Anyway. Undertaker might be a good one to do. Let me think about this. I have so many minions. I kind of want to do more relics and more weapons. Let me think. What could serve as a relic here? Maybe we could do like an edict here. I have an idea for this one. Let's do this one. I think I have an idea for this one. Card creation tool. 2 by 1. Edict. Let me make sure I'm actually using this word correctly. Right. Yeah, so I'm just going to make it like a little kind of scroll here. We'll see how it goes. Open file, assets, edict. There we go. Load default palette. New layer. Okay. Well, this is not going super well right now, but that's okay. Okay, that looks fine to me. We'll worry about these end parts here in a second. Okay. So it's like a kind of scroll. Actually, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so it's kind of like a scroll. We do something like that, and then I'm thinking we also do like a ribbon of some kind. Like that, and then actually I want to make that in the background, I think. Yeah, something like that. And then let's do this. Yeah, we'll worry about shading all this in a second here. Okay. Well, I guess we might as well start the shading now. Why not? Alrighty. I may... Oh, maybe not that color. Maybe I'll do... Does purple work here? That may be all right. Just create some more separation. It's always kind of hard to... Always hard for me, at least, to do paper stuff. Now I need to learn how to implement finite state machine. Finite state machines are very straightforward, so don't let it intimidate you. Is it possible to playtest? No, there's no playtest available right now, Koenig, but if you keep an eye on the Discord, you will be notified when the next playtest goes live. You can also subscribe to my email list and all that good stuff as well. Well, I guess that looks all right. You know what I might do? I might just change this. That looks a little bit better to me. Yeah, it's probably fine. Oh well, I think it's okay. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on this, but I feel like I've already spent too much time on this. Whatever, I think it's okay. It's fine. It's not the best thing in the world, but at a small size, it's going to look presentable. So it's all good. Relics and weapons. Horadric Cube Easter egg. I love how with pixel art it's so much about trial and error, just tweaking as you go. It's addictive both to you to do yourself and watch. Yeah, it can be. How are you this good? Thank you. I mean, I don't think this is the best thing in the world, but it works. It's fine. Palette is nice. Yeah, I like the palette. Hello, it's Ramsey. I'm making a second game. My first Steam game was 500 megabytes on Electron browser. For this game, I switched to C++ and MIDIs from my music. 7 megabytes now. Awesome. Yeah. The size differences. I mean, yeah, that's one of the problems with, yeah, I mean, just one of the problems with bundling with any sort of tool, right? Like whether it's a game engine or not, it's just like, yeah, the size is going to be bigger than if you had implemented it bare bones yourself. But, you know, nowadays, even 500 megabytes is like, I actually think Alchemortis is close to that on disk. But that's because, you know, I've got several music tracks that are like 30 megabytes a piece because they're WAV files. And, you know, maybe I'll fix that, but 500 megabytes for a game is like most people aren't gonna complain about that. Do you think Godot is good for 3D games? I'm kind of the wrong person to ask. I don't know a whole lot about 3D with Godot. It's obviously good enough for some people, like Road to Vostok. That game looks great in 3D. There are a bunch of other 3D games that are failing to come to mind now, but like anything, I think it depends on what kind of game you're making. But so we need flavor text for this. All right, so what should the edict do? Did I export this? I think I did. Yeah, export the edict. Okay. So this is a 2x1. We'll make it a 4.9 turn cooldown. Is enemy. We won't make it flippable. It's a relic. Make it a relic. Minimum notoriety region 1, maximum notoriety region 2. Okay. So now we need abilities for the edict here. Anyone have any ability ideas? Maybe like project damage. Do we have a project damage? Let me see. Projects to allied adjacent minion items. Barkeep. Oh, Barkeep does that already. So maybe not project damage. How's it going? Hello, MasterCart. A lot of progress since last time I tuned in. Yeah, development is straight ahead. What is an edict? An edict is basically just like an authoritative order from like a king or something. Basically like a law. Switch your waves to OGG. I might do that. I mean, I could. My understanding is that those are compressed, so they require higher CPU usage to decompress, whereas wave basically just gets streamed as is, but I don't think I need to worry about the CPU usage in my game. Increase the remaining cooldown of enemy items by 2. Project 2 damage to allied items in the bottom left corner of the board. All right, let's do something interesting, yeah. Bottom left corner. Well, so bottom left corner means that there can only be one item there, right? Because like bottom left corner means a specific cell. I don't know how I would communicate. I mean, we could just make it bottom and left, maybe. Damage is equal to ability builder dot project ability card edict project damage ability configure query target provider bottom left quarter. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't have support for that yet. Maybe I should add that. Blood Pact. Enemy blood links with the player once per move. Healing 1 HP, but taking 1 HP from the player. I don't understand that one, if you want to elaborate on that one. Increase the remaining cooldown of enemy items by 2. I don't have a way of... I mean, I guess that's paralysis. Yeah, I think that's just paralysis, right? Because like if I were to do, okay, increase remaining cooldown, that's basically a paralysis, right? So that'd be like paralyzing them for 2. So I don't know if I want to introduce that kind of new mechanic because it's functionally the same as paralysis. Now the question is, how much paralysis do I have? Could reset the cooldown so the player could face a bell-like item. Yeah, we could do that. We might as well. I don't think there is one like that for the enemy. I won't make that one scalable, I don't think. Okay. Now I gotta figure out this translation stuff. All of this setup is just for the translation stuff. Actually, do I need this? I don't think I need that, actually. Okay, I think that will work. We'll list this one first. So we'll build, then we'll generate the translation. Projects to allied items on the left edge of the board and on the bottom edge of the board, 0. So that's correct. Resets the cooldown of 0 random enemy item. Oh, okay. So I do need to put query target provider.query options limit there. Okay. Let's go ahead and try this out then. Resets the cooldown of 1 random enemy item. Projects to allied items on the left edge of the board and on the bottom edge of the board. Deal 3 damage. Okay, let's see if that works. So that did work. And that did work. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. That's a pretty nice item actually, from a functionality standpoint. Cool. All right, so that's 2 items down. I still need to do the flavor text for it, but I think that's good. Cool. All right, well, I think, I think that will be it for the stream for today. I'm going to end it a little bit early. I'm starting to get hungry, so it's McDonald's day. What can I say? But, yeah, I think that'll be it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. I will finish the 3rd item. Again, I'm trying to do 3 items per day for the next 10 days. So I'll do the 3rd item sometime this afternoon, in addition to whatever else other work I need to do as well. But yeah, you can wishlist Alchemortis on Steam. It's a dark fantasy roguelite auto battler where you can use alchemy to create your own builds and synergies. So if that sounds fun, definitely consider wishlisting it. I would appreciate that. You can support in other ways too, like on Patreon. You can join the Discord, all that good stuff. It's all linked in the description below. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Always great hanging out with all of you. And I will see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.